Hi guys, welcome to Windsome Cottage Garden. My name is Hannah and I'm so glad that you decided to join me today. We are in the home garden and we are finally getting the first seeds of 2024 planted. I'm a little late to the game here. It is the end of February and we might still get some snow. It's Michigan, our last frost date isn't till the end of May. But it could be mild, and I thought that I would use the winter sowing method, which I've never done before, to extend my seed starting space. I have a limited number of grow lights. One of the benefits of using milk jugs in winter sowing is you are using items you might normally recycle anyway in the natural sunlight and other conditions. So I've never done this. I've watched a number of videos on this, and I know one of the key things I've taken away from them is making sure you're selecting seeds that are suitable for this method. For me, especially because I am starting them when it could still get cold, I have picked all cold tolerant plants or perennial plants to sow. What I'm going to do is kind of show you the process, go through everything, and then I will go through all the different varieties, some of which you've already seen that we will be starting in this method. Let me give you a quick look at our setup, and I cannot wait to get started sowing the first seeds of 2024. In addition to picking the right seeds, there's a couple things that I've seen that you don't want to forget to do when preparing your jugs. These are just old milk jugs. I put a call out to my coworkers and my parents and family, and they've been collecting them for me so I could get the number of seeds I have. This one got a little crushed, so blow it out before I do it. One thing that you want to do, you could remove the labels. I'm not going to bother. I'm just going to set them. They're actually going to be going right behind me, which is southern exposure, nice, warm, but also protected from the north. And I'm just going to put the label to the north side, so it won't matter anyway. The two things you're going to want to do is, first, you will cut not 100% all the way around, but kind of create a hinged opening. So, hinged opening, I chose one side with the label to leave, and that leaves about 3 to 4 inches of soil space in the bottom. The other thing that you can't forget is to put drain holes in this. I don't know if these are going to do it, but I'm going to try. Okay, back with a knife. And what you're going to want to do is put 4 drain holes. I'm going to just do kind of X's. Now what I'm going to do, and I don't know if this is necessary, but I am going to open them up a bit. And then you're all prepped. So I'm going to go through and prep the rest of my jugs, and then I'll come back and show you the next step. Okay, I have prepped 27 jugs, and I also have my soil ready. Normally I wouldn't use gloves, but I'm trying to keep my hands clean. You want it to be damp. You don't want to squeeze it and see water. You want it to hold its shape. This might be a little on the dry side, but we are getting some precipitation today, and it's not dry by any means. It's just, I don't want to add any more water to it. So this is what we're going to do. What you do next is you take all your containers and you're going to fill this bottom soil reservoir we've created. Kind of want to pack it so there's not like any air bubbles or places that the roots can be air pruned, which is like if you don't pack it down and there's some air pockets in the soil and a root hits it, it will stop growing. So healthier roots have longer. Some of these I'm going to do scant, like this is about 2 inches. Others I'll fill more. You should probably do 3-ish. I just don't have quite enough soil, so I'm trying to see how far I can stretch. So that's the next step. I'm going to go prep all of these and then we'll get to planting. Okay, the next thing, now that they're all filled, and I did something that might have been a no-no, which is I recycled some soil from an outside container because I was 2 jugs shy. I'm going to mark them and see what happens. The worst is there could be weed seed in here that I grow alongside everything else. But what I also have already prepared is tags that are going to go inside in addition to labeling the duct tape. Instead of a Sharpie, you want to use UV resistant markers. I use Garden Marker. I haven't really found any other brand that works well. But even though it's UV resistant, because there's a lot of snow and different temperature fluctuations in this, I've heard it's good to mark outside and in, so you always know what is what. So what I'm going to do is go through and plant everything according to the seed instructions. I'll probably do, if they're really small seeds, like I have some alyssum, I'll do a nice sprinkling so I get a full little container. If they're things like lupins, I'll probably do 5 to 7 per pot, just to see how many I get. They're not going to be in here for a super long time, so you don't have to follow exact spacing, but they are going to be in here long enough that I don't want to overcrowd it. So what planting looks like is, first I add my label in. This is Wonderland Mix Alyssum, so I'm going to stick that in first, then grab my seed. This one is really small. Alyssum is annual, but it belongs to the brassica family, which is in general pretty cold tolerant. So a lot of times when they're this small, they'll come in seed packets within seed packets. And what I'm just going to do is open it up, use my little finger, use my finger to get like a glob, and just sprinkle them around. I want to control it a little bit, but sometimes I'll just kind of shake until it looks right. Now this one doesn't need to be covered. In fact, having it on the surface is probably better for it. So I'm not going to cover it. I'm going to carefully put the excess seeds back in the correct seed packet. And then I've got my seeds in, I got my label in, I've got my seeds in. I'm going to close it, and I'm going to duct tape it closed. I found it's easier to actually take the duct tape, if you know the general size, off the roll. Oh, but this is, of course, misbehaving as I'm explaining and doing. And do it, and then I go around and just make sure it's nice and tightly sealed. Because what this is going to do is create a miniature greenhouse. So water can get in, moisture can escape, but it's going to trap a lot of heat down in here, which is going to aid in germination. Finally, I'm going to label on the outside so that I know exactly what it is without having to break into it. No further ado, let's get started. I have gotten all of these planted. Looks like I've got a little farm going on. This is, I think I told you, south facing. And I've kind of spaced them out a little bit. I can see where everything is. I did learn as I was going through this that the ones that are best are a little bit more rigid and don't have divots. So since these were collected from a number of people, you can see like some of them, like this one back here, actually had a divot. That was really hard to tape shut. The ones that were more solid without those were easier. The best one was actually like this water container. I also have two old vinegar containers that were very clean, washed out very well. And I don't know if the plastic's too thick, but we're going to try and see. They're all put to bed and ready to get growing. These all kind of look the same now, but I'll just kind of go through and I'll pop on the screen what these are. Some of these you've already seen in my seed haul video. This one is blue glitter Orangium sea holly. We have my castle lupin, noble maiden lupin, the Chatelaine lupin, the governor lupin, the band of nobles lupin, and the chandelier lupin. As you can tell, I love lupins. Over here we have the poppies that I saved from my old house. I don't know what variety they are. A larkspur mix, sweet rainbow columbine, kirigami mixed columbine, black barlow columbine, majestic mixed hollyhock, spring celebrities mixed hollyhock, charters double mix hollyhock, snapdragons that I saved from seed. They started out as a mix from Baker's Creek an eon ago. Some verbascum that I actually got with a magazine that I didn't realize had seeds in it, and they're quite old. Snapdragon that I found in a seed packet from 2010. So I have no idea if it'll germinate. I put the whole seed packet in there. We have the Dusty Silver Dust Dusty Miller, Obscura Foxglove, Jet Black Negro Hollyhock, and then up here we have a Pepperbox Poppy, Dara Ami, Shirley Poppy. These were all actually kept in my freezer until I did this because they need a cooling period. And then 3 types of alyssum: clear crystal mix alyssum, Wonderland mix alyssum, and clear crystal white alyssum. I think that's going to do it for this video. I'm excited to get seeds starting. I think the next one you see will probably be me walking you through my plan for vegetable gardens this year. And then I also have some seeds starting inside the house coming up, though there might be a housekeeping organization of garden tools in the garage session before that, mostly because that's where all my seeds sowing supplies are in this new house, and I need to find them all before I can sow seeds. So that's what you're going to be seeing in the next little bit. I'm probably only going to be posting once a week, maybe once every other week for the next little bit as things get going. But now that the seeds are in the ground, the clock is ticking and the season has begun, which is always a thrilling feeling. If you like this video, please make sure to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. And I can't wait to see you next time. Bye-bye.